Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the webinar today. That is Document and Expense Management for NAV and Business Central. On the call with us today, we have Sandra Cummins from Zetadocs, who will be giving the presentation. We also have Ashley Canali from Interdine Artists and LBMC Technology Solutions Company, and she is a client strategy manager. And you have myself, Lisa Cummings, with Interdine Artists and LBMC Technology Solutions Company as well. And I, too, work with our accounts in Business Central and NAV. So if you have any questions, we would like for you to hold those until the end, and then Sandra can answer those as they come through. We will be providing the recording after the session is completed, so look in your email box to see when that comes through. We would also like to remind you, if you have not registered for Vision 2020, this will be coming up in May 18th through the 19th at the Ritz-Carlton in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we would love to see everybody there. There will be lots of different sessions to attend. It's a 2-day event. There's a vendor expo, and just cannot say enough about the different sessions that we offer to help educate you on different technologies and platforms. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sandra so she can begin the presentation for us today. Sandra, if you'll take it away.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm Sandra Cummins, and I'm the account manager with Equisys. And Equisys is the developer of Zetadocs software. Zetadocs software is used in the document management and the expense management space. The people that benefit the most from a document management or expense management solution are most often NAV or Business Central users, primarily those who are based in the office, usually on finance teams, and they use paper or shared network folders for a variety of reasons. Does your organization face challenges because employees are not storing documents in the same manner so that they become difficult to find? This is something we find most often when I'm talking to customers and people that are looking at a solution. They have a hard time finding documents that are stored or misfiled in file cabinets or unstructured network folders. And what about sending out of NAV or Business Central? Do you face challenges when it comes to delivering reports out of NAV efficiently? And does your finance team get inundated with expense reports at the end of the month that then need to be rekeyed into Business Central or NAV for processing? During conversations with business owners, we know that each organization has its own unique challenges and requirements when it comes to their daily workflows. Over the years, we have developed techniques and solutions that have helped organizations tackle these challenges and these tough questions. A little bit of background about Zetadocs. Our history begins with the foundation of Equisys 30 years ago. Equisys is headquartered in London, and our U.S. office is just north of Atlanta. In 2007, Equisys developed Zetadocs software, and the development of Zetadocs for NAV started with capture and delivery. And this came from conversations with customers and business owners, partners who were looking for easier ways to store documents, retrieve them, and send them out of NAV at the time, and now, of course, we have Business Central. Zetadocs is a very well-established, widely used document management add-on with over 5,000 companies using it globally. With the development of Zetadocs, we were one of the first NAV add-ons to receive certified for Microsoft Dynamics accreditation. And as part of our commitment to Microsoft, we strive for and earn that certification every year now for Business Central as well. So now let's take a look at how you can use Zetadocs to store documents related to transactions that are crucial to your business. As we know, it can be really frustrating sometimes to locate a specific document from a directory that stores unstructured data or from a file cabinet. And sometimes this can delay the retrieval process, which can get a little frustrating, especially when people are under pressure to get back to their customers and their vendors quickly. With Zetadocs, we use what we call the fact box, which allows you to store supporting documents in your important NAV and Business Central records. For example, sales and purchasing records, cash receipts journal, journal entries, ledger entries, jobs, production orders, fixed asset card. There are a variety of records in Business Central and NAV where you can add your supporting documents using the Zetadocs Capture software. When documents are added into each of these records, they're also stored outside of NAV and Business Central in a repository, usually a SharePoint directory or in a Zetadocs folder on your network. And we do this so that your non-licensed Business Central and non-licensed NAV users can also have access to those supporting documents that you've stored within those records. We also have an app, so you can easily use this functionality that I'm going to show you today, use on your phone or on your tablet. And then lastly, another way to get documents into the various records within Business Central and NAV is to use our scanning capability, where you can scan vendor invoices, for example, and they will appropriately link to the record and follow your posting routine. So that gives you a little bit of background about how Zetadocs Capture works when it comes to storing and retrieving important documents as they pertain to the various transactions within Business Central or NAV. We also have our Zetadocs delivery software, and that allows you to batch send important documents and records out of NAV and Business Central. We often hear from our customers that sending documents out from NAV and Business Central is a very important part of their business, as this is where they can send quotes to generate revenue or send out invoices to retrieve payments. Think about how much time is taken up by your finance team to generate invoices, process invoices received, and then chase after late payments. Using Zetadocs Delivery, you can send out your quotes, invoices, and other documents in a batch as opposed to single send. With batch sending, you can simplify the sending of invoices, for example, and increase your efficiency. Both utilizing Zetadocs in Business Central and NAV can help you get paid quicker and manage your credit control better. When batch emails go out, the system is designed so that each document is sent to the appropriate contact, which allows you to also personalize the email message. You can personalize the content of your batch emails to match the documents that you are sending by easily creating your own templates, even in various languages. With Zetadocs Batch Delivery, you can also configure the system to send out, for example, a reminder letter or a statement with the overdue invoices attached. So the system can be customized to automatically attach supporting documents based on the type of records that you are sending. For businesses using NAV 2016 and newer or Business Central, batch delivery can be set up to go out automatically at designated times throughout the day. And with the activity log, you can always access your batch history, so you can look at what you sent out, when you sent it out, and it will also show you what didn't send. And then lastly, we have our Zetadocs Expenses. With Zetadocs Expenses, customers using the software eliminate the routine that finance teams often do And also, it makes it easier for your field teams to enter expense reports from the road. Zetadocs Expenses has a very easy-to-use app where users can create and submit their expenses and expense reports from their phone, and approvers can approve on their phone, as well as in the office. Zetadocs Expenses directly integrates with Business Central and NAV, and as a result, your finance team doesn't need to take all that extra time to rekey information, and expense reports are very quickly and easily submitted and approved. So with that, I'd like to jump out of the PowerPoint here, and then let's go take a look at our Business Central so we can show you how this looks. So up on the screen, I've got our Business Central sales order list page. Over here, for this particular sales order for the School of Fine Arts, I've got the fact box, and this is our key feature that we add to your various records throughout Business Central. In the example on the sales order here, we've added a few supporting documents that pertain to this particular transaction. So how do we get these documents in the fact box? A very easy way to do that is to use our drag and drop technology. So I am going to pull up my Outlook here, and here I've got various emails. Here is an email with a purchase order attached, and I'm just going to drag and drop that into the fact box, and that's all you need to do. Now you can drag and drop the entire email. You can also just drag and drop the attached PO. Some customers like to drag and drop the entire email so they can review the email as well as look at when it was sent out and who sent it, or you can just drag and drop the attachment as well and put that in the fact box. Now, all different document types can be added into the fact box. In addition to those commonly used PDFs or Word files or Excels, you can also drag and drop photos, wave recordings, videos, CAD designs, other types of design specifications. So keep in mind that there's a wide variety of documents that can be added here and viewed in the fact box. I'm just going to minimize this out for a second and show you another way that you can get documents here. You can always click on this up arrow, and that'll take you out to your network. Here I've got a network folder open for invoices, and let's say we want to put an invoice in there or another type of document. We'll use invoices in the example. I'll just double click on that, and that's going to jump right into the fact box and save there as well. Now, all of these documents that I've added here are going to flow through based on your posting routine. So in this scenario with a sales order, when it becomes a posted shipment, this fact box is going to be on the posted shipment. And all of the documents that were added in the sales order phase are going to show up on the fact box in the posted shipment. And then when that becomes a posted sales invoice, this fact box is going to be on the posted sales invoice page with all of the supporting documents that have been added in when it was a sales order and then a posted shipment. The idea is to make it as efficient as possible so that your team only needs to add a document once and it flows through based on your posting routine. Another scenario on the purchasing side would be you have your purchase quote or your purchase order, and we've got the fact box added here. Everything added in that phase will flow through when it becomes a purchase receipt, and then when it becomes a posted purchase invoice. And we can use this type of record mapping based on your posting routines, not only in sales and purchasing, but throughout other areas of NAV or Business Central as well. So that gives you a brief overview of Zetadocs Capture, keeping in mind that everything added here has also automatically been added into a Zetadocs library in your SharePoint repository or in a network folder called the Zetadocs Archive, so that your non-licensed NAV or non-licensed Business Central users can access these documents as well. Now, earlier I had also talked about delivery and sending documents out by a batch. So to do that, I'm going to come back over here to the sales category, and let me go ahead and jump into posted sales invoices. Now it's going to show me my posted sales invoice page. Something else to keep in mind that we've done here is we've added this fact box to all the list pages as well as into each individual record. So if you just wanted to go down the list page and see what was added into each one of these invoices, you could do that without having to drill into each one. Of course, the fact box is on each individual record as well. So to create a batch, I'm going to come over here to the ellipsis. We've got a little actions area. I'm going to hit Zetadocs and then go back to send. And when I do that, a filter is going. Now I can just send one invoice if I want, but if I want to send a batch of invoices, I can do that as well. So let's go ahead and let's say we want to do a range of the invoices, let's say 039 through the purchase invoice for, or posted sales invoice for 107,380. Okay, so here we've got our range. That looks good, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, when I do that, the system is going to pull over all of those invoices that I just indicated and show me on this recipient screen what's going to go out. So I can see that all of these invoices are going to go out to these various customers, to the individual contact name. In the example here, say we've got the School of Fine Art, the contact name is Sandra Cummins. Sandra's going to receive all of the invoices for School of Fine Art in one email rather than individual emails sending out one invoice at a time. And by doing that, I'm just going to hit the consolidate email and hit OK. And now it's going to send out the batch. We can go ahead and jump back into our Outlook here, and let me show you an example of what that looks like. So here's an email that went out, and this is the email for the School of Fine Art with all of those invoices attached. In the subject line, we've got the invoice numbers, the customer name, so it's very clear what's in the email. And then, of course, the messaging down here in the body of the email. And this is all set up in a very easy template wizard, so that when all those batches, when all those emails went out in the batch, your customers receive the same message in the body of the email. The subject line is very consistent. Nobody has to remember to add in any particular messaging. It's all done for you. And we've also added conditions of sale as a fixed document. So with the system, you can send out batches, records with supporting documents, in this example, a conditions of sale. Again, making it easier for your finance team so they don't have to remember to attach it. It's going to go out every time a sales document or a sales record goes out. Another way that you can use Zetadocs Delivery to send out batches of invoices, order confirmations, receipts, all different type of records, is to apply dynamic attachments. So what I mean by that is, here's an example of a batch email that we sent out based on reminder levels. So a lot of our customers send out statements at the end of the month, or they send out reminder letters at the end of the month. What we've done with Zetadocs Delivery is we've sent out a batch with the reminder, and all of the overdue invoices that are listed in the reminder letter are also attached here in the email, making it very easy for your customers to remit payment. In this example, we've added a stronger language in the template for the body, the messaging in the body of the email, so it's very clear to the customer, these invoices are overdue. Here's your reminder letter here. Let's open that up so we can take a look at it. We're showing these invoices are overdue. We've added a final demand watermark, and the customer now knows that these invoices need to be paid. Again, making it very easy for your customer to pay, and that's the whole idea. One last thing with the sales, the sending here of the posted sales invoices, just keep in mind you can do this with all different types of records throughout NAV, and there is a activity log where you can track the history and see what didn't send and send. So lastly, really quickly, with Zetadocs Expenses, I wanted to show you how you can use the system to create an expense. So here I've got up on the screen our Zetadocs Expenses dashboard. Now this is the home screen that your employees and your approvers, everybody that's involved with expenses would see, either when they use their phone app or if they're going to create, submit, or approve an expense on their desktop or laptop. So to use the system to create an expense, you would just come over here to the new expense tile and you'd hit payment. And when you do that, this screen is going to open up. You would just simply put in your lunch. Let's say your expense here is a lunch with your customer, Acme. This way. And we can choose a vendor. All different types of vendors we've got populated here. Frequently used vendors will show up. Let's just say here we went in to WC Kitchen. It's a new one. And then if I go there again, it'll show up. Using the corporate card, all different types of payment methods can be applied based on how your employees are paying for their expenses. So we would work with you, and based on how your employees are paying, whether with a corporate card, a personal credit card, cash, that would populate here, and the employee would then choose whatever method they use to pay for that particular expense. We've got the default to U.S. dollar. We can also use Canadian dollars. Many different currencies can be used with Zetadocs Expenses. You would put in the dollar amount. Let's say this was an expensive lunch, $150.85. And down here, because this was an expensive lunch, I'm going to put in my business case as to why this should be approved. Coming down here, we have our expense types, and you can use all different types of expenses here, and those are always what matches the GL codes that you're using. So the expense types match your GL codes. Here I'll go ahead and code this as client entertainment. We've added dimension fields. Most of our customers use dimension fields to allocate that expense. So here's a couple of examples using a project dimension field with a drop down of various different projects, a department dimension field where you can choose if you're on the sales side or on the finance side. These are just examples of how you can further allocate the expense very easily when creating it. You can even route through jobs if you like. And then you would add your receipt, and once the receipt is added, you save the expense. And it's really done that simply. Sorry about that, lost the mouse there for a minute. So at this point, let's say Kevin created that expense, and he wanted to submit his report. He would just click here on New Report. He would click the plus sign, hit Add, there's that expense, and then he would submit his report very quickly. After Kevin submitted the report, it would then go to April for approval. April would receive an email letting her know she's got an expense report to approve. She clicks on the link in the email. It takes her to her dashboard here. She can find that expense report that was submitted. Here's an example of another one, and then she can review the report at this point. The last thing I wanted to point out is you've got these orange triangles here, letting the approver know when an expense has exceeded its expense limit. So for example, this one that I just added for WC Kitchen, there's a big warning here that when Kevin submitted this expense, it was over the limit. Now at this point, April can reject it with a note saying, please give me a stronger business case as to why I should approve it. Or maybe she's going to go ahead and approve it, but the expense type was coded wrong. She can go ahead and hit edit and fix that herself without having to send the whole thing back to be resubmitted. And then she can also approve. So these are just different options of what can be done. April can approve the report, and she can put in her notes. And then once that report is approved, going back to Business Central, we're going to automatically create a purchase invoice. So the expense report gets approved, we automatically create an invoice, not only one, but two, because in this report, we've got mileage as well. So we're going to go ahead and let's take a look at a purchase invoice that was automatically created once the expense report was approved. and this is for your non-reimbursable expenses. In this example, these were expenses that were paid for with a corporate Amex card. You can see everything that has carried over from that expense report and that particular expense item. So here we've got a lunch, we've got a dinner, we've got the total dollar amount, and now this can be processed for the non-reimbursable, in this case for an Amex card. Everything's been carried over, there's no rekeying. Another example of that, let's just jump in really quick and take a look at a mileage expense. So in this example, David submitted a mileage expense, and when he submitted that mileage expense, we automatically created a purchase invoice for the mileage, which is the reimbursable back to David. And of course, we've got the GL code, the GL account code correctly carried over, as well as all the other information that you need to then process these invoices. So that gives you a brief overview of how Zetadocs Expenses and document management works, both in Business Central and of course NAV. If you would like to see a demo in detail, feel free to reach out to your account manager, and she can work with me and we can schedule a demo. Or if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have based on your requirements. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass this back to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you so much for the demonstration. That was great. The product looks really, really nice. And so excited to be able to offer this to our customers. If you have any questions or you would like a deeper dive demo into the product, like Sandra said, you can contact myself, Lisa Cummings, or Ashley Canali, or Chelsea Schlepp, and we would be happy to get that scheduled and just take a look at what this product can do to help streamline your processes. We don't have any questions in the question queue, but if anybody does have any that they think of after the fact, again, you know, I did say that we will be sending out the recording for those that are registered on the webinar, and we will also be putting this up on our website as well. So if you missed it, there's still a chance to be able to see it. And just reach out if you need anything or have any questions and would like to see a deep dive demo of the product. And I'd like to thank you again, Sandra, for presenting for us today.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks to everyone on the Interdyne team. And then just one real quick thing I forgot to mention. For any of the Interdyne artist customers who are interested in Zetadocs, I am offering discounts on both the software licensing as well as the expense site creation. So if you'd like to learn more, we are offering discounts, discount incentive offers based on the software for Interdyne artist customers.
Oh, great. Thanks so much.